Throughout fighting game history, a very strong argument can be made that Capcom have always been one of the kings of the genre. After redefining the medium with Street Fighter 2, they would launch various other cult favourites such as Darkstalkers, Rival Schools and their epic Marvel vs games. But one fighter that stood out from all of these was of course Power Stone. Released in the late 90s, Power Stone was a beacon of excitement, drawing gamers into its captivating world of dynamic arenas and fierce combat. The thrill of collecting those mystical gems while engaging in frenetic brawls was something special and different to anything else put out by the fighting game giants. The game's fast-paced action and vibrant characters fueled countless hours of joyous competition. Playing as eclectic roster members from the nimble Falcon to the mighty Gunrock delivered many great experiences defined by the camaraderie of friends huddled around television sets. So with all of this said, join me on a nostalgic journey today as we celebrate this excellent game. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Big Daddy Top Hat here. This is why Power Stone deserves your respect. Yeah! 1999 was an interesting time period in gaming, offering a distinctive and unparalleled experience for console enthusiasts. During this era, a significant portion of the gaming community still found solace in the aging yet venerable Sony PlayStation, which had gracefully withered in the half a decade since its initial release. Despite the passage of time, a dedicated contingent of players remained steadfast in their commitment to the iconic console, embracing the wealth of titles it had amassed over the years. During this time frame, there were those who were more sophisticated amongst the gaming public though. These were the proud owners of Sega Dreamcasts, a gaming console that boldly asserted its dominance as the most powerful in the world, leaving its competitors trailing in its wake. The Sega Dreamcast, with its cutting-edge features and superior capabilities, represented a paradigm shift in gaming that set it apart as a formidable force in the industry. Near the turn of the millennium, the Dreamcast would feature a plethora of great games, many of which were like nothing that gamers had ever experienced before. A perfect example of one of these titles is of course the subject of today's video, Power Stone. The Sega Dreamcast was a console that could truly bring the arcade experience home, and in many cases it would do this literally. Before making their debut on the Sega Dreamcast home console, numerous games embarked on their gaming journey as arcade titles, finding their roots in the immersive realm of the Sega Naomi hardware. This arcade board bore striking architectural similarities to the iconic home console, forming a technological bridge between the pulsating atmosphere of arcades and the comfort of home gaming experiences. One such exemplary title that followed this trajectory was Power Stone, an exhilarating game that made its initial appearance in Japanese arcades in February of 1999. This unique transition from the arcade to the Dreamcast showcased a seamless connection between the two platforms, allowing avid gamers to relish in this classic in both environments. Now with the stage set, let's check out the introductory scene that was featured at the beginning of this Japanese arcade gem.
時は19世紀、メシニア伝説が生きていた古き良き時代。一攫千金を夢見る冒険者たちは伝説の秘宝を追い求めていた。どんな願いも叶えてくれる奇跡、パワーストーンを。
To be fair, the intro reveals little about the game outside of a brief synopsis of the story and a look at the colourful lineup of characters the game contains. Past this point, a preview of the game can be seen for those who are yet to insert the coin, so let's delve deeper into this amazing title. Set against the rich backdrop of the 19th century, at the heart of this gaming experience lies a group of fervent believers who find inspiration and motivation in the realms of legends, myths and superstitions. Their collective zeal propels them on a quest for fame, glory and above all the pursuit of a legendary treasure that is rumoured to have the power to fulfil any conceivable dream. The coveted Power Stone. In the expansive world of this game, the legend of the Power Stone serves as a beacon attracting seekers from every corner of the planet. These believers, consumed by the allure of the Power Stone, engage in an obsessive and often tumultuous quest, igniting fires and sparking intense punch-ups as they individually strive to lay claim to this mythical grail. As one immerses themselves in this tale, we will encounter a player select screen, a gateway to a roster of 10 distinct heroes, each with their own unique attributes, skills and backstory. Once you choose a character, the game propels you into a world of dynamic battles, pitting you against a diverse cast of characters, also vying for control of the elusive Power Stones. The battles unfold in a manner reminiscent of traditional fighting games, yet with a groundbreaking twist. These confrontations transpire in fully realised three-dimensional environments. This departure from the conventional confines of two-dimensional fighting games introduces a refreshing and immersive dimension to the gaming experience. The arenas for these one-on-one duels are scattered across various locations around the globe, providing a visually stunning backdrop to the intense clashes between characters. The three-dimensional environments not only alter the tactical considerations for players, but also elevate the overall gaming experience, inviting strategic maneuvering and dynamic interactions rarely previously explored in the fighting game genre. In the multifaceted realm of this captivating game, characters wield a diverse arsenal of combat techniques, seamlessly blending flurries of punches and kicks with an array of special attacks. However, the battlefield is not limited to mere hand-to-hand combat, as characters can elevate their strategic prowess by wielding various objects as weapons. Tables, chairs, rocks and even bombs become tools of engagement, introducing an element of unpredictability and chaos to the dynamic fight that unfolds. Amidst the chaos, the coveted Power Stones make their appearance, resembling radiant gems in an array of captivating colours. These mystical artifacts hold the key to unlocking heightened abilities, adding extra depth to the gameplay. A testament to the game's innovation, players who demonstrate nimbleness and strategic acumen can amass 3 Power Stones, triggering a transformative process akin to Sonic's metamorphosis into Super Sonic with the Chaos Emeralds. In this ascended state, characters undergo a profound transformation, becoming more powerful versions of themselves. This empowerment unleashes 2 distinct super specials, a long-range potent attack, and a close-range formidable maneuver. Drawing parallels to the dynamics of other iconic franchises, this heightened form is not a perpetual state, rather it is contingent on the player's power bars, which acts as a finite reservoir for these enhanced abilities. The grandeur of the super special attacks comes at a cost, completely draining the power bar, while smaller special moves only deplete a portion. As the battles unfold, the traditional fighting game structure remains intact, with victory determined by the depletion of one of a fighter's life bars. Yet amidst the familiar beats, the game weaves a distinctive amalgamation of elements. The echoes of renowned franchises like Street Fighter and Darkstalkers are not coincidental, as this game proudly stands as another illustrious creation from the renowned gaming powerhouse Capcom. Beyond the revolutionary gameplay that Power Stone introduced, its allure is further heightened by the captivating and imaginative environment in which it unfolds. Stepping into the game is akin to entering a 19th century universe adorned with pirate ships, temples and taverns exuding a distinctive steampunk vibe. This unconventional setting stands in stark contrast to the more conventional backdrops found in other Capcom games, creating an immersive and visually stunning world for players to explore and conquer. In an illuminating insight from the game's head designer, Hideki Itsuno, the genesis of this unique setting becomes clearer. Itsuno shares, "I was going to go for a modern day setting to appeal to as many players as possible, but modern day technology lacks a certain flair. There's just no romance to it. So I went with the 19th century before such technology became ubiquitous." This deliberate choice to embrace an era where technology hadn't yet permeated daily life allowed for the infusion of a romantic, adventurous spirit into the game's narrative and aesthetics. Speaking of the game's narrative, it draws inspiration from the swashbuckling adventures found in Indiana Jones, and the dynamic martial arts sequences synonymous with Jackie Chan movies. Itsuno's youth, steeped in the excitement of these cinematic influences, is reflected in the game's plot, a harmonious blend of fighting and exploration. In Itsuno's own words, it seemed to me to be the kind of positive setting anyone could feel excited about, encapsulating the infectious enthusiasm that permeates the game's atmosphere. Equally remarkable is the novel approach Power Stone takes to its gameplay. Unlike conventional fighting games, the battles unfold from an isometric perspective, with moving cameras providing a dynamic and engaging experience. The origins of this distinctive gameplay trace back to the game's embryonic stages as a Street Fighter II style side-view fighting game. Itsuno reveals that the initial design involved pushing the stick twice in the direction to move into or out of the screen. However, a pivotal turning point occurred during development, as the game's producer, Daisuke Iizuka, recounts it was only halfway through development that it changed to an overhead view. I remember how great it felt once we got the game to a place where it seemed completely different from Street Fighter. In essence, Power Stone's journey from conceptualization to realization is a testament to the creative minds at Capcom, daring to defy conventions and explore uncharted territories within the gaming landscape. Diving deeper into the lineage of Power Stone and its roots in the fighting game genre, it's essential to acknowledge the rich history that Itsuno brought to the table. Prior to Power Stone, Itsuno had already left an indelible mark on the world of fighting games through his contributions to notable Capcom titles such as Star Gladiator, Rival Schools, and Street Fighter Alpha 3. Armed with a wealth of experience garnered from working on these titles, Itsuno harboured a vision to transcend the established norms and breathe new life into the genre. His goal was clear: to innovate and deliver an experience that would captivate not only the dedicated fighting game community, but also resonate with a broader audience. Drawing on the lessons learned from crafting other games, Itsuno aimed to preserve the satisfying gameplay dynamic of 2D fighters while introducing the freedom of movement inherent in a three-dimensional space. In a candid revelation, Itsuno shared his insight, stating, "One of my aims with Power Stone was to bring my experience to something that would be well received by players other than just hardcore fighting fans." This is a poignant reflection on the state of the fighting game landscape at that time. The genre had become increasingly niche, with titles like Street Fighter III and its revisions struggling commercially. Even the sequel to Rival Schools, titled Project Justice, faced challenges in finding its audience. Such titles, with their intricate mechanics and steep learning curves, further alienated the broader audience. Power Stone, with its innovative approach and accessibility, sought to bridge this gap and appeal to a wider demographic. Looking back at the late 90s, it marked a transformative period for fighting games. While the genre faced challenges, it eventually experienced a resurgence in the late 2000s. It's interesting to note, though, that such a resurgence was partially fueled by a shift towards simplified controls, as seen in games like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. And even more recently, Street Fighter VI came with the option of even more basic controls. These changes were introduced to make fighting games more accessible to casual players, overturning the stigma that had developed around the genre. But the forward-thinking Power Stone was made with the casual audience in mind before other Capcom fighters. In essence, Power Stone occupies a unique space in the timeline of fighting games, a transitional phase where innovation and accessibility became paramount. Power Stone, under Itsuno's creative guidance, embraced a revolutionary concept: simplicity without sacrificing depth. Unlike traditional fighting games that often require an intricate understanding of complex movesets, Itsuno designed a game with the premise that players could effectively navigate the battles by mastering just 3 fundamental moves: a punch, a kick, and a jump. But on top of these basic attacks, a distinguishing feature that set Power Stone apart was its dynamic utilisation of weapons scattered throughout the stages. Itsuno envisioned a gameplay dynamic where players could inflict substantial damage by seizing and effectively deploying these weapons. The arsenal ranged from conventional melee weapons to more exotic items, and their usage extended beyond mere striking. Players could throw them strategically, and an extra layer of tactical depth. Speaking about the inclusion of weapons, Itsuno elucidated, "We made the weapons powerful to encourage players to use them a lot. We didn't want to just add something on top of the fighting gameplay so much as make items part of the fighting strategy itself." This intentional integration of weapons and strategic assets reflected Itsuno's commitment to elevating the gameplay experience, offering players not just a gimmick, but an integral component that contributed to the overall fighting strategy. The eclectic cast of characters in Power Stone further underscores the game's commitment to diversity and uniqueness. Edward Falcon, the charismatic main protagonist hailing from London, adopts a boxing fighting style, infusing the game with a touch of British flair. Wang Tang, an aspiring chef and martial artist from Japan, brings a culinary twist to his combat techniques, even channeling energy blasts reminiscent of iconic anime moves. The roster extends to Aoyami, a master swordsman, Galuda, a towering Native American, Kraken, a pirate wielding a buccaneer fighting style, Jack, a mysterious Englishman draped in bandages, and Valgus, a colossal monster employing a wrestling fighting style. This diverse array of characters not only contributes to the visual richness of Power Stone, but also introduces varied fighting styles and a layer of strategy for players to explore. Power Stone's meticulous character design reflects an appreciation for cultural diversity and a commitment to offering players a well-rounded and engaging gaming experience. Venturing into the realm of Power Stone's final challenge, Valgus is the end game's boss. Valgus' prowess is such that he has been known to induce moments of frustration, even prompting rage quits from players, myself included, adding an extra layer of intensity to the overall gameplay. The culmination of a game concluded with a fight against a frustrating adversary like Valgus further demonstrates Power Stone's dedication to delivering a challenge and immersive narrative arc. In regards to this title's unique history, remarkably, Power Stone's journey to prominence took an unexpected detour before landing famously on the Sega Dreamcast. Initially, the game was slated for release on a different platform, the 3DO-M2, a console touted as a powerhouse comparable to Sega's final home console. However, the 3DO-M2 faced an unfortunate fate and was ultimately cancelled. As fate would have it though, Capcom swiftly switched gears, redirecting the development to the Sega Naomi and subsequently the Dreamcast, with of course the rest now being history. As we traverse through time, the critical reception of Power Stone in 1999 becomes a pivotal chapter in its legacy. GameSpot, a prominent voice in gaming journalism, presented a mixed response, acknowledging Capcom's extensive history in the fighting game genre. While praising Power Stone's departure from the traditional 2D gameplay, GameSpot tempered its enthusiasm, asserting that the excitement may wane over time. The game's unconventional nature, easy accessibility, and initial enjoyment were acknowledged, but concerns about long-term appeal lingered. Critics grappled with defining Power Stone within the context of Capcom's storied legacy, grappling with the departure from familiar 2D gameplay. The dichotomy of short-term enjoyment versus long-term engagement underscored the game's unique position in the fighting game landscape of the time. Reflecting on GameSpot's review of Power Stone, it becomes evident that their initial assessment may have missed the mark, especially considering the enduring popularity the game enjoys among fans even 2 decades later. The discrepancy between the critical evaluation and the sustained enthusiasm from players highlights the challenges and inaccuracies that can accompany games journalism. In this case, Power Stone stands as an example of great resilience in terms of entertainment value, proving that the term long-term enjoyment finds a fitting application here. Examining the broader context, it's intriguing to note how Power Stone, with its distinctive gameplay and visuals, defied easy categorization within the traditional fighting game genre. The game, with its unique mechanics and 3D arena setup, stood apart from its 2D counterparts, prompting some to question whether it truly belonged to the fighting game genre at all. The evolution of genres is seen in the transition from Super Mario Bros. To the 3D platformer era with Mario 64 provides a parallel. Power Stone likewise marked a departure from conventional fighting games, paving the way for a distinct category, the emerging 3D arena fighting subgenre. While journalists of the time may have struggled with classifying Power Stone, it's important to recognise its role as one of the best early examples of a 3D arena fighting game. In a genre that now boasts plenty of titles of this kind, Power Stone's influence is unmistakable. However, it's crucial to appreciate that, in 1999, this genre was in its infancy, with Power Stone helping to pioneer a form of interactive combat that would later become a staple in gaming. This is why this game deserves your respect. Anyway, if you enjoyed looking at this classic, then you might like my uploads on other undersung Capcom greats. Pick between Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, Rival Schools and Red Earth now. Yeah, cheerio.